Hey guys, ML here. If you're looking to start a podcast, start with Buzzsprout. If you let them know we sent you through the link below, you get, when you sign up for a paid plan, you get a $20 Amazon gift card. How cool, right? You get free money for signing up to get your podcast started. So Buzzsprout gets you the show listed every major podcast platform that you need. That's Amazon, that's Google, that's Alexa, every place. You'll get a great looking podcast website, audio plays that you can drop into your own website, detailed analytics to see how people are listening, tools to promote your episode, and so much more. Join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Welcome to Dove and Dragon Radio. I'm your host, M.L.Ruscsak. Today's show is brought to you by Guardian Look Sunglasses. So sweet to have these today. I love my visuals. Thank you so much for sending them to me. Today, I am here with guest Holly Brooks, our intuitive life coach and psychic. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
So, okay, where did you get started? Let's start there.
Okay. Really started my first psychic feeling?
Started. Let's go to the very beginning.
Okay. Well, I was 5 years old and I was on a plane bound for Miami, and I was with my mom, and she gets up, and we're in first class, and she gets up and tries to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, don't. And she's, what do you mean? And I said, you cannot get up. And bing, the light goes on. Fasten your seatbelts. This happened like 3 more times. And now she's looking at me like I'm from another planet.
Of course.
And then total turbulence. It was scary. And the pilot comes on and he says, you can't get out of your seat the rest of the trip. And she's like, so these things kept happening all through my life. And we recognized it, but we didn't say, oh, gee, my kid's psychic.
Right. You don't say that to the modern world.
Right. We just didn't talk about it. But my mother was a white witch, and she passed 10, 11 years ago, and she visits me all the time. I mean, all the time. Sometimes I'm like, Mom, bad mood, don't want any visitors. It's kind of funny. But I went to college at the University of Miami. I have a degree in education and a concentration in human services and psychology. And I became the go-to person when anybody had a problem. I don't know how that happened, but...
Well, a lot of people that are intuitive, they are magnets for other people to hear their problems.
Yep. I can be in the grocery store and somebody will talk to me and I know their whole life story before they're done. It happens a lot. And I don't mind it. I like talking to people. So after college, I got married. I had my daughter and I raised her alone. I left him, and I had a dance company for children. I studied classical ballet and jazz. And so I started a dance company and I did well with it. But I also made extra income working for those hotlines like Psychic Source.
Oh, yeah.
Crystal Clear.
The ones that were big in the 90s.
Yeah, do you remember? You're probably too young. Dionne Warwick and her psychic friends.
I remember seeing the ads.
That was the first one, and I worked for her. So I worked for a couple of them, and then I went, wait a minute, why am I giving them part of my pay?
Mm-hmm.
So I started Centerpoint, and then I rebranded as Intuitive Solutions. And the older I got, and the more I suffered,
Mm-hmm.
the better my gift became.
Mm-hmm.
Like the more you face, instead of going in the corner and sucking my thumb,
Mm-hmm.
I stood up and faced it. And there was a lot. I mean, I had cancer 3 times, and I lost both my parents. I had both my knees replaced. I broke my neck. I mean, whoa, my book is going to be good.
Oh, yeah. Well, now we got into another subject. You have a book.
I'm working on it. It's going to be finished pretty soon. The title, I'll share it. Husbands, Kidneys, and Other Things That Have Failed Me.
Well, okay, so we understand the husband.
Yeah.
Obviously. Kidneys would be your health.
Yeah.
And then you have everything under the sun for other things.
Right. I'm trying to make it smaller. I have so much. There may be like a 2-parter book. But
that is very hard to do. So
yes.
if you keep it under 300 pages for the first one and then come back with another 300 pages. Yeah.
I have enough. I come from a rather infamous family. So I grew up seeing things that most people wouldn't. And they were very old-fashioned, a huge corporation. But I was told, you're a girl. You'll get a husband. You know, you're decent looking. You'll get a rich husband. But my brother and everyone else got positions in the corporation.
Right.
Warner Communications, a big company. And I just took Intuitive Solutions and rebranded it last, I guess, October. And I've been doing really well with it. I love my work. I love my site. I do spiritual life counseling as well as intuitive psychic readings. I also do seminars on how to develop your intuition.
Okay, what don't you do?
There's not a lot. No, I'm expansive, and I like I read a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very interested in neuroscience,
Mm-hmm.
because understanding how the brain works is very helpful in helping people with their issues, and being a psychic as well. And just entranced with Einstein's theory of quantum entanglement.
Now that's a subject we can take about 3 hours to try to detangle. How many people since Einstein has been trying to detangle any of his theories?
Well, they're trying to prove it. Pardon me. They're trying to improve it, and they have proved it. But they need to prove it a bunch of times.
Yes.
So the theory they're trying to prove is time is not linear. It's not A to B or 8 to 9, and that's it.
Right.
The way he sees it or saw it is time comes in
fluid.
waves.
Yeah, it's fluid.
And so while this is happening with us here, somewhere else in the galaxy, it's also happening. Right. Like waves bounce back and forth. So they have taken observatories and coordinated the timing and the spots they shoot to and set it off together. And it happens. It happens here, it happens there, it happens there. And they're proving it more and more every day. But we've all been programmed. It's 8 o'clock, and in 20 minutes it'll be 8:20.
Right. We have got into this thing that time is linear, that we go to a clock to tell the time, to tell the day, to tell the month, the year, whatever. And time was invented basically to tell us what time the sun rises and what time the sun goes down.
Yes.
It was not invented to say it's 3 o'clock, we have to be at such and such place.
Right. No, it was not. And everybody would be lost if we burst that open.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I have to be home for dinner at 6. Well, what if 6 is different?
Mm-hmm.
But I love it because that and neuroscience supports what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it because it's concrete. I mean,
Right.
even his theories, they're pretty concrete. He was a genius.
He was beyond his time.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish they could actually clone his brain, because then we might actually get some of the answers, because now we understand some of his, what they considered madness back then.
Yes.
I mean, you go back to the 40s, it was madness. Now it's science.
Right. Right.
So now that we understand the science, let's clone the brain so we can understand more of what he was trying to explain to us.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, even I've been learning that the government has an arm, a section of psychics that they use to uncover secrets that it's called MK2. And they've been using them all the way back to Hitler to find out things.
Actually, if you want to go back to ancient history, there wasn't a kingdom, wasn't a government that didn't have psychics within their governments.
I get it. I mean, it's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes wonder why I can see the things I see, because I get details, times, looks. Yeah, do you have a dimple on your right cheek? Oh, you do? I thought so. And I was told that I just use a little more of my brain than some people do. It's not magic.
No.
We can all do it.
Yeah, the average person uses about 10% of the brain. A intuitive person, this is science, this is neuroscience, uses anywhere from 12 to 20%.
Oh, no wonder my head hurts. No.
I mean, that's science. That's scientifically proven with MRIs, CTs, and other types of radioactive things that they put on your head.
Great. Well, I love what I do. And I really help people. No one calls me because they're super happy or they're thrilled with their life.
Right.
And usually my calls all go the same way, because I speak to someone before I give them a reading. And I do hot readings, and that means that I start to pick up stuff before we even do our reading. And then I do the reading, and I get this a lot. How did you know that? I'm like, you called me. I'm a psychic. So I love it because they call, they're unhappy. We talk a little. I get a lot of tears because we go to what's very close to their heart. And by the end, they sound completely different. And then I know I did a good job.
Yes. Let's see. How many times have we gotten the random call from a relative? Their world is in chaos, and we're telling them what's the steps to take to fix it. And either A, they don't believe us, or B, they hang up the phone, do the steps, and go, oh my God, how did you know that?
A lot. perfect example. I have a brother who's 2 years younger than me, never gave a thought to what I do.
Mhm.
And then last year, he went to find a house in Rhode Island. And I said, well, how many are you looking at? He said, 4. And I said, well, the third one is the one you're going to buy. He drives home and calls me and he goes, we bought the third one. Then he started calling me with questions about how long were they going to be there, where they were renting the first year. They didn't want to leave. I said, you're not leaving. You're going to buy it. They did.
Mhm.
Everything I told him came true. So now he's a believer and a brother. So it's nice. I like it.
It's finally happening to get the family involved.
Mm-hmm.
When you grow up little and you tell them things, they don't believe you because you're a child, and what do you know? Then you get into the teen years, and if you're anywhere between 1990s and before that, oh, you're just a crazy person and we're not going to listen to you anyways.
Yes.
Now we get into the 2000s and, oh, you're psychic? Can you read my tarot cards?
Right. Can you tell me what's going to happen? Am I going to get this job next week? And, then the belief feels like support because he's my brother and it's great. I love it. And I predicted, I know with birth, you've got a 50-50 shot, boy or girl, but I always get it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done it for people in the family. And also, I predict the weather every August, and I'm always right. And I feel like maybe I should be in like meteorology or something, because how much is going to snow, when the last snow will be, et cetera, and it just happens.
There's so many things that we don't get into because, one, you get the ones that say, oh, if you're psychic, why don't you play the lottery? Well, that goes to self-fulfillment. It doesn't work that way.
I don't predict lotteries. I don't call which horse is going to win the race.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use it for gambling.
You can't use it for personal gain.
Only emotional and things like that.
Right, but not for monetary. And people don't understand that. Well, if you're psychic, why don't you live in a mansion? Well, you can't get personal gain like that. It doesn't work.
It's unethical.
Yes, it is.
I wouldn't do it. It's like these psychic lines that say they're psychics, that charge you an arm and a leg, never answer your questions. And I've gotten calls from quite a few people that say, I called this line and they told me there was a curse on me and my family. I like that you call yourself mommy to the dog. I have 2 cats and I'm mommy. I come in the house and go, mommy's home.
Well, I'm mommy to the dogs, mommy to the cat, and mommy to the 18-year-old autistic child.
Oh, so, wow. Yeah. Ooh, a girl I went to school with, and she lives in Oakland. Her son lost his speech and became autistic at 4. After his vaccination. So she's obviously an anti-vaxxer. And he's 27 and I'm Aunt Holly because, they listen to someone who isn't their mother. So I'm usually on the phone with him for like an hour every couple of weeks. I'm due. I owe him a phone call. And I have another dear friend who has 2 sons, 6 and 3, that are also autistic. And she's young. She's 33 and she deals with it amazing. It's not easy. No, it's not. I'm thankful now that she's older that she understands more. So it's like having a very intelligent 8-year-old.
But when she was little, oh my goodness, the stories I can tell you, it's like days I want to pull my hair out because I can't handle, but at the same time, you have to go minute by minute.
Yes, you do. And too much stimulation is not good. And the thing that my friend in California did is he's an actor. She sent him to acting when he was like 7. He's 27. He attended one of the best conservatories for acting in New York City for the last 2 years. He's an opera singer. He loves Shakespeare. So his outlet, his strength comes from the arts.
Yeah, so that's hers. So I had her in acting classes, and then COVID hit.
And then that was that.
That was that. So we're trying, but at the same time, she's a wonderful writer. So
great.
We're finding her talent through what mommy does. And then she can just kind of follow my wake, as you can say, and find her path.
Does she's creative, obviously. There are some acting classes, quite a few, that you could be doing on Zoom for her.
Oh, I know, if I can get her to do it. She's so shy. She loves voice acting, but she hates being on camera.
Oh, wow. Gee, maybe she could do voice work.
Yeah, so I'm trying to piggyback to, okay, here's my network. This network right here does a lot of voice acting. Go to these every day, and you might learn something.
Yeah. Does she like to play around with her voice?
Yes.
Yeah, you could actually make a reel.
We do, and it's just she has an IMBD, so it's all there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Way to go, Mom.
Well, Mom has an IMBD, so baby should have one too.
I'm mother to 2 cats, and one of them watches TV, fetches, plays hide and go seek, and does not purr, chirps like a bird. Unbelievable.
Okay, we've had a cockatiel that purred and hissed. Its name was Kitty. It would call, if you called, here, kitty, kitty, you would see the bird running, never flew.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I have a dog that thinks it's a house cat. 70-pound baby dog, okay, thinks it can sit on your shoulder.
Animals are the best.
They are so funny. But you know what? If you find any intuitive people, you find the strangest animals.
Oh, really? I didn't know. Is that why this new cat is so like a person?
Yeah.
She brings me a string to throw, and then she brings it back.
I have interviewed so many intuitive people, and they all have something in common. Our animals are crazy.
Oh, well, I'm glad to know that, because I had no idea. Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, if you watch TV shows and stuff like that, they call our familiars like Uncharmed, but in reality, our pets are a reflection of us. This is true.
She's a total reflection of me.
I mean, it's true for anyone. Okay, your pets are a reflection of you. How your pet behaves is a reflection of how you behave. But when you have an intuitive people, then our animals are a little bit more crazy than most.
Okay, that fits. That definitely fits. When she hears me in the morning, right to my nose to kiss me. Good morning. It is the cutest thing. I do animal communication because they give it. It's not even hard for me to pick up what they're thinking. And I love doing that. And also, for that reason, I do not eat any kind of meat, because if I wanted to eat a hamburger, I see a cow.
Yeah.
And if I was going to eat lamb, I see a cute little lamb. So I don't like to eat anything that has a face. It's just my weirdness.
It's okay. We're allowed to be weird.
I like you. You're really, really nice.
I mean, we're allowed to be crazy. We're allowed to be ourselves. We're allowed to be weird. We're allowed to have these quirks that no one understands.
Yeah, I have 3 granddaughters, 3, 6, and 9, and they call me Gigi.
Oh my God. My grandmother that's downstairs, my daughter calls her Gigi.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This was my son-in-law's idea, but they call me their crazy Gigi. Anything that when I go over there, Gigi, watch us dance, watch us do gymnastics, because I taught dance for like 25 years. I have the fake knees to prove it, and did gymnastics. So they just are each one is so intense and totally different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
And with the internet and social media, way beyond their years in knowledge. And definitely they're all 3 indigo children. Absolutely. They just know, especially the 9-year-old, a highly sensitive person, if you will. But they call them. So
we're finding more of the intuitive in the younger generations from my daughter's age down than we did in the previous. Why? Because we have energy flowing constantly through technology.
There you go. Yes, she last week, she's not allowed to post TikToks, and last week she hacked into her father's TikTok account, changed the name to her, Natalie's World, and posted the most amazing TikToks I have ever seen, with fire and changing her look, and her sister in a 3-0, a clone of 3.
Yeah.
And I look at them and I go, wow, I could not do this.
Right.
I have no idea. But they caught
I'm just
her.
learning Snapchat.
Yeah. They caught her. And so they changed passwords to everything. And now their tech time is specific on the weekends, which I'm not adverse to, because if you're on the internet too much as a kid, your imagination gets squashed, I think.
Yeah.
So
I mean, technology, it can either be a good thing or a horrible thing, or somewhere in between.
Like going to school now over their iPads. I mean, they can do that. She said to me that, do you want to see me do code? I was like, what? You can do coding? She goes, yeah, watch. I mean, she's in 3rd grade. They're teaching them things that when they come out of high school, they're going to be able to do things that I never dreamed about.
Right. I mean, my daughter, up until last year, she was advanced in college level classes. Then we had COVID, and everything she learned went out the window because she's not interacting every day. Right. Now we're in class 4 days a week and 1 day on the computer, and she's learning nothing. I ask her every day what she learned in school. Oh, we watched YouTube videos today in this class. We did reading children's books in this class. We did coloring. She's a senior in high school, regular high school, not a special needs class, regular high school. I'm like, you're coloring, you're doing YouTube. Where could I sign up?
Yeah, right. Why did I have to do that stuff in high school? I know that the pandemic, I've written some articles that were picked up by Arianna Huffington's Thrive Global. And one of them was about relationships in COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And either the point was either it drove you apart or brought you closer together. One was on what to look out for when you hire a psychic.
Mm-hmm.
They're great articles. I was really happy that they got picked up. And I think that most of them were about COVID driven changes,
Yeah.
new normal, you
Right.
know, how you go to school, how you have relationships, social interactions. It's changed fashion and
It
how
has.
we get our movies, everything.
I mean, last year I was working on film projects, and then they fell through because of COVID. Well, we can't film. Well, it's not that they fell through, it's now they're on hold. Now you're on back because now you have all the big things like Warner Brothers and Disney, and all their films are being amped up. So
Right.
you have to wait till people are available because you have limited spacing where you can film, how many people you can have on set. You have a lot more restrictions than you did a year and a half ago.
Absolutely. And I saw several shows and hospital shows, and they're all wearing masks,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all about COVID.
Yeah.
And it's just so different. And, I have every premium channel you could want.
Mm-hmm.
And now they want you to pay for movies on the premium channel you're paying for.
I know.
I'm like, what is this?
You have to have Amazon to watch movies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have the free ones. Then you go back to certain movies like D3 from the 90s. You have to pay to watch that now. Then you have Netflix. Then you have Netflix Premium. So there's things on Netflix, even though you have a Netflix prescription for, now you have to pay for that. Then you have Disney, but then you have Disney Plus.
I have that.
Mm-hmm. You're paying double for everything now.
Right. And my good friend with the son, who's 27 and on the spectrum heavily, her really good friend produced Moana, the kids' film, and won an Oscar with her partner. Yeah. Now her new movie is out. It's called Raya and the Last Dragon. And it's on Disney Plus, but you have to buy it.
Yes.
It's like, what? But nobody goes, movie theaters are dead.
Yeah, there's so much fear right now. Okay, little story. I had COVID. I survived COVID. I'm so over hearing about COVID.
I'll bet. I
am ready to go back to the movie theater. I'm ready to live without a mask. I'm over the fear. I had it. I survived. I'm over it.
Right.
That's my mentality.
I am going to be 67 in April. And I had cancer, so I have a compromised immune system, and I have chronic kidney disease. Those are the kidneys failing me in my title. And I got my first shot Monday is a month ago, and I go for the second on Monday, and I'm not expecting a whole lot of happiness from that. Right. Other than 2 weeks later, I'm supposed to be cool, but I still should wear a mask, and I still should social distance. And but I had to get it. I'm at the top of the charts for people that should have it.
Right. I'm immunocompromised. I've had 3 strokes. I'm asthmatic. I have a heart condition, and I've had brain surgery.
Wow.
So me living through everything I already lived through, and then living through the COVID, I'm like, okay, I'm here for a reason.
Yes.
Let's smile. Let's find that reason. So what do we do?
Everything happens for a reason, right?
Right. Everything happens. Good, bad, the ugly, being in debt, being on the top of the empire, whatever is going on. Both sides of the spectrum, everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
But
And
I
not
could
one
keep your-
second before it's supposed to.
I can keep you here forever and have a wonderful conversation with you, but we are almost out of time for this podcast. So where can the people find you?
They can find me at www.intuitivesolutionsHK.com, or they can call me 717-618-8217.
And I thank you so much for being on the show today. And to our
Thank you.
listeners and our viewers, happy reading.